Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the Internet's most passionate wine program. And we have talked about doing another blind Merlot tasting after I did an episode. You know how this normally goes. I hyped up like I'm pissed off at, sideways. Merlot is better than you think. Enough of this. Pinot is better. Screw Merlot thing. I got all angry. We did a blind tasting, and it was a disaster. I panned almost every wine, and so I promised that we would one day come back and do a blind Merlot tasting. So these are all blind. They're kind of double blind, meaning I don't even know. Well, that's not true. Double blind is when you don't know anything about the wines. I do know they're Merlots, and I'm excited about tasting all four. Kristen K. Murph, for all you Cinderella wine fans. Mott, link that up. Picked out these wines, so I'm curious where she went. I've been so used to Ian doing the blind tastings, and Ian, I love him, and I think we have such a close friendship, so he's never tried to throw a curveball. I think K. Murph has not been here long enough to throw a Cab or a Shiraz in here and make me look stupid, but we'll see. Anyway, I think we should get right into it, Mott. Still playoff beard intact. However, this is taping before I go to San Diego this weekend, so, conceivably, I'd have to shave. So if you're seeing this next week, which is you are, I didn't cheat. I will shave if they lose. But they're not going to lose, and that means they're going to win the Super Bowl, which means I'm going to have a huge ZZ Top type beard until September, where, maybe they'll go undefeated next year. It can get really silly, Mott. All right, first wine. I still think one of the most interesting things is that you zoom in on the brown paper bag. So, I hear you. I know it's my favorite part. Wine number one. It's my favorite. Oh, your feelings got hurt. You had to go quick. All right. No, but I think that's like my favorite part of Blind Show. Mom, what do you think about the new comment section? People are starting. There's a couple glitches here and there, but I'm starting to see some good things in it.
I've gotten some good feedback.
You like it?
Yeah.
Are you getting in there?
I actually posted a reply last night.
Very nice.
Somebody wanted me to trim it off.
Oh, I saw that actually. All right. Let's get into this. Great color, nothing too, out of the ordinary. You can still kind of see your fingers through this Merlot, so it's not inky black like a Shiraz. Let's give this a sniffy sniff. Good fruit. I like the nose, a little blackberry, maybe even a hint of like mulberry. And there's also kind of like a little Kirschy Royale kind of thing going on. Let's give it a whirl. Good firm tannins, good structure in the back end, a little hollow on the fruit, a tad oaky for me. Comes across like a $12 to $18 Merlot, a little old world in some parts and a little new world on others. A solid wine. I'm going to score it the way I would score it. I'm going to also give you guys a price range. This way that always adds a little more fun to the show. But I like it overall. It's got a little charcoal on the back end. It's got nice black dark fruit throughout. I do find it to be a little one-dimensional, and that's what's kind of worrying me about the wine. But overall, not a bad effort. Probably, I don't recall how bad that Merlot show was, but I remember it being ugly. This could conceivably be better than any of those wines. Wine number two. Do a little rinse. Now, Mott, who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl? At this point, you've seen them all play a playoff game. Well, except the people that have bye. What are you feeling right now? You're worried about the Cowboys, aren't you?
I loathe the Cowboys so much I don't even worry about them.
Okay.
I don't want to say.
You don't think the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, then you could say anything, because that would scare me.
I thought that San Diego was going to be like the dark horse.
Well, they're kind of. I think
The NFC is just up in the air, right?
I picked San Diego to. I thought San Diego in the beginning of the playoffs was going to win it all. Just sucks that we have to play them now. All right, let's give it a sniffy sniff. This one smells a little bit more interesting. There's a little more complexity here. There's a little cedar on the nose that I like quite a bit. A little more strawberry fruit on the nose. Just smells a little more serious. There's a little terroir driven. And when I say that, that means soil to me. It's the wrong way to use the terminology, but I like the nose. It's a little more old world. Comes across almost Bordeaux-like, almost Pomerol-esque. Let's give it a whirl. Also good wine. Solid. Maybe a hair under complex and good. To me, it's got really nice red fruit, good finish, has a better mid-palate than the last wine. Definitely has like almost like a chalk dust meets a little bit of sand, a little dirt. Kind of, I like that little dustiness in my mouth. Red fruit throughout, whereas the last one was a little more dark fruit. I like this wine more. Good effort. I like it. Has enough sunshine and fruit, but definitely is balanced. Not overripe, not over the top. A very good balance is probably the way I would put it. Wine number 3. Little rinse. Now, Mott, what do you think about this whole Leno and Conan thing? Have you been following this?
I think Conan
got the shaft.
He's getting a raw deal.
Don't you think? Pretty ugly. I mean, they did him wrong. Poor guy got 7 months. I know we're not a patient society anymore, but that was tough. What about Leno? You think he's a little bit of a jerk-off?
No.
No, you don't think it's his fault?
No.
Got it.
It's just business, nothing personal.
All right, let's give this a sniffy sniff. This one is very tight. Like, really tight, actually. I'm barely smelling anything. As a matter of fact, the only thing that went through my mind as I tasted this, ironically, as I took it away from my nose, is fresh horseradish coming through a little bit on the nose. So a little bit of alcohol, a little fresh horseradish. I don't really, it's funny, I love fresh horseradish, but the nose is not that appealing. A little plum. Aromatically challenged. This wine is an AC, and that pisses me off a little bit. Just not a lot going on in the nose. Let's give it a whirl. There's going to be some people that like this wine. I am not one of them. But it is silky on the palate, and there's a lot of wine drinkers out there who give enormous credit to the wine just being smooth. And they appreciate it quite a bit. And it's almost, to half the wine drinkers out there, their only threshold. That if a wine is silky and smooth and isn't offensive in flavor, they'll like it. Because so many red wines come with those bitter tannins, awkwardness. We drink red wines too early in our society in general, which, really accelerates that aspect. And so what happens on a wine when you get it like this creamy, silky, smooth aspect, people are drawn to it. That being said, it's kind of one-dimensional. It's like, it's like pretty girls. I mean, like, the pretty part is awesome. But if they're not interesting, and there's no conversation, and there's not something there, it's going to wear out. That's what this wine does. You're like, ooh, this is really smooth and fun, and then it's over. There's just nothing else there. It's not only hollow in the mid-palate, it's globally hollow. And the finish kind of goes away as well. And there's a little hint, just a hair, like a shoulder, just a too much hint of oak for my palate as well. That being said, I'm going to price it as the most expensive wine so far, because wines like this tend to be expensive, but just not doing it for me. And finally, wine number 4. Good, rinse. Right, this is by far the darkest wine of the bunch. Very dark, really nice black color. Anybody thinks Merlot is a pushover. This one's already shaping up to be a bomb by its color. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. All right, this is New World. This is candy-esque. There's a little, fruit roll-up, sun-kissed kind of thing going on. Very candy-like. There's a little chocolate mixed in as well. This is really like your classic old 5 and dime. There's candy smells, and you like them. Let's give it a whirl. Don't worry, it's my phone. The oak monster makes an appearance. I literally feel like I just went outside and bit a tree. The amount of oak that is in my palate right now is outrageous. I just literally feel like I'm eating sticks right now. It's difficult. It's hard to get through. This is so obnoxiously over-oaked, and this is everything if you've watched this show at all, and Mott, we're getting very close to 4 years. We're getting old out here. this is bad. And to me, this is really scary. I mean, this has no soul. I'm dying to see. I mean, again, you can replicate what I just tasted for $12 in an Australian Merlot or a Spanish, wine that's completely masking itself, or a California Merlot. I'm very curious what this is. I can tell you right now that there's a big part of me that believes that this wine could be scored very well because wines like this do get good press. And I'd probably bet you that it's fairly expensive. That being said, this is makeup, people. Oak is makeup. At some level, all of us could look the same. We could all look like characters from Kiss if we really put enough makeup on. And that's what's going on here. By adding so much oak to this wine, you've taken out the nuances that actually make this wine perfect. It's why so many people like people without makeup on. You get everything. A little chicken pox mark, a freckle. That's the good stuff. And that's what you look for in wine. It's completely stripped. This wine is soulless. It just is. It has no soul because the oak is so overbearing, I really can't taste what's up in there. And it pisses me off quite a bit. And not to mention the fact that I had to bite oak and bark and all these aspects that are not interesting to me in any way. I'm angry. Vaniacs, I'm angry. Tough way to end the show, Mott. All right, let's line them up. This is always the best part. I love doing blind episodes. You like the blind shows, Mott? They're fun. Okay. In last place was the wine I just had, and I don't need to repeat how I feel about it. I scored the wine 78 points. Not a 50 or a 60. I would be remiss to not mention that it had big fruit. There's a large chunk of the wine drinking public that would like a wine like this. I do think this conceivably could be a $40 wine. I do see things in this wine. This is the kind of wine that's out there and peddling itself. I don't like it. I'd be shocked if it was an Australian or California. If this is Bordeaux, I would be on the ground. Mott, you'll have to take me on the ground. So let's see what it is. Napa Valley. Oso Anna 2007 Merlot. This wine is $18, so that's good. I'm glad to see it wasn't $40, and I hate it. So, Oso Anna, I'm sorry. I'm sure you're wonderful people. OsoAnna.com. I'm sure they probably make other wines. You want to get on the mailing list. They make 1,474 cases of this. It is not good. I don't like it, but everybody has their own palate. And if you enjoy eating tree trunks and you want, smooth, oaky flavors, then you can have this. That being said, you can find this for $8.99 in a lot of variety of different wines. But good job by Kay. See, I knew Kay Murphy would be a little tricky. You see what she did? It's probably not the most expensive wine. And she put it last. I like Kay Murphy. I like what she did there. All right. In second to last place is wine number 3, which I scored 83 points, and I guessed it would be a $30 wine. And it is an Israeli, mainly predominantly Merlot. It's 60% Merlot, 20 Cab Franc, 20 Cab. This is the Galway Heights Seagulls. And this wine is 40, is it? No. See that? 13 US dollars. So good. Once again, I was being worrisome about the price point. 83 points, $13. I didn't really like it. If you remember, I wasn't fond of it. It was kind of hidden. But it had a little Cab Franc, and I couldn't really tell. Not bad. Interesting choice. Israeli Merlot, fine. In second place, wine number 1. I gave it 88 points and $18. Wine number 1 is the Chateau La Benefance Saint-Emilion Grand Cru 2005, 32 US dollars, 92 points, Robert Parker. And this is 85 Merlot, 15 Cab Franc. I liked it. I thought it was a good start. I don't think it's a 92-point wine like Parker does. This is a big score from Parker. I don't see it quite as much, but a very solid wine. And finally, the winner. A wine that I scored 90 points, that I liked quite a bit, and I guessed at $22. I've been off on the prices pretty badly. $18. Nice. And it's an Italian Merlot, which you don't see often. The Bellanotte Merlot, the 2007, 18 bones, and a really interesting IGT Italian wine that I thought was absolutely fantastic from Venezuela, Bellanotte, 18 bones, Italy. The Italian Merlot, a wine region that is not talked about for its Merlot by any stretch, wins this blind tasting, and the one that got bombasted and dissed was Napa Valley. And Napa Valley lost to an Israeli wine. So once again, if nothing else, it proves that it doesn't matter where it's from, you've got to taste it for your own palate, and you need to go out and explore as many different things as possible, because the bottom line is nobody has your palate, and the only way you're going to learn and find things you like is you go and taste them. Which, I don't know, sounds like a pretty good gig. You want to learn more about wine? Drink. Question of the day. What is your favorite all-time Merlot? You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or